walls. Same thing with paving. There's also various items in there that are not necessarily essential to the overall property. For example, they might say, we recommend clubhouse renovations, right? Well, I mean, this wood paneling might be good for another 30 years. Now, they might put it in there as something, but it's not necessarily essential. That reserve study and those figures also do include the maintenance of the HOA maintaining the carports, the sheds, and the fences, which the HOA Section 4 does not maintain those items. So that needs to be adjusted whenever we have that report updated so we can have more accurate figures going forward. But that reserve study is a useful tool. It gives us at least a starting point, right? And that's kind of the goal. There is no mandatory reserve funding requirement in the state of Tennessee. You don't have to fund what they recommend, but you need to have a plan, and every HOA needs to have a plan. And now you can't just develop it overnight, but we need to work on it. And obviously that's kind of our basic guideline is this reserve study. It's also extremely important because lenders are getting extremely strict on what properties they will give loans for, because they don't want to see, and I've seen it, I know people that have had assessments that are over $100,000 for a single unit. And when you just put $50,000 down on your condo and you get hit with 100,000 special assessments, the lenders start freaking out. They're like, okay, are we going to be upside down with this loan? So now lenders, anytime someone buys, they have to or buys or refinances, they come to the management company and say, fill out this 6 to 9 page questionnaire. We want to see your budget. We want to see your financials. We want to see your reserve study. We're going to critique it. We're going to say, here's every issue noted in your reserve study. And even for, I think it was River Plantation 4 or 3, in the reserve study, it noted a few roofs were nearing the end of their effective life. Not even the roof that this loan was getting issued for. And the lender said, we're not issuing the loan until we have documentation that these roofs have been replaced. And I'm like, well, what if they hadn't? Are you not going to give this owner their loan? Are you going to, stop this person from being able to purchase their property? So it's an extremely big deal, and it may become a time where, even though there's not a state requirement, we've got to do it so owners can get financing and you can continue to sell your properties. A property that can't be sold and someone can't get financing for, that value is going to be detrimentally impacted. And this isn't a doom and gloom speech, just being realistic with you. With priorities, we have to prioritize the buildings, right? We want to have a beautiful pool. We want to have a beautiful tennis court. We want to have great streets. I would say if you can take care of people's buildings, if you have to choose one or another, people would drive on gravel roads before having a roof that's leaking all the time, or before having squirrels living in their attic because everything's so rotten. If you had to prioritize it, you've got to take care of the buildings first. Once you're able to take care of the buildings, and your buildings are in pretty good shape right now, there's been a lot of work done. There's still a lot of rotten shutters that need replaced, and various things here and there. But we're getting there, and we had to have a loan to do it, which that was taken out a little before my time. But there's out of sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think there's only one of those sections that doesn't have a loan that's in excess of probably 200 or 300 grand. So you're not alone there. Now the upper sections, most of them don't, but again, different situations. Really appreciate everyone that helped get these electrical panels replaced. I did the math. Because of that electrical panel situation and having these, this model panel built in this particular year, it was costing the HOA about $500 a day when you compare the, our current premium with the old premium. So, having about 48 and getting the owners to replace those, provide the documentation was huge. So I really appreciate everyone's help with getting that done. Something else to keep in mind is every HOA has different maintenance responsibilities. Section 3, they don't maintain the fences or divider walls. They do maintain the carports and sheds. Section 2, they maintain everything, including the fences, including the painting the fences. Section 4, the HOA doesn't maintain the carports, the sheds, or the fences or the divider walls. Which, however you do it, everyone's still going to have to pay for them. But that does help your financial position a little bit. If the HOA was to maintain those items, you would have to have a higher HOA fee to cover that maintenance. So that's part of the reason why even though your insurance premium is double or more than double that of Section 2 right now, your fees are still only $50 higher because they're having to pay for fences and sheds and carports where you're not. Last thing is special assessments are the biggest red flags there are when it comes to HOAs, when it comes to loans and lenders. Anytime someone is purchasing a condo, they said one of the main questions we get asked, number one is what's the HOA fee? Number two is what's the history of special assessments? Any special assessments in the last 5 years? Any special assessments pending? It's a huge red flag. And part of the Tennessee law is in order to, with this reserve study requirement, is to help to avoid sizable special assessments. A special assessment is for the most part, a sign of a major issue, right, or poor planning. But the major issue, like the insurance, obviously no one planned for that. That's just a situation, you got to deal with it. So either poor planning, emergency situation, something like that is typically what a special assessment's used for. If you plan properly, usually they can be avoided. And that's the hope for every HOA we manage and work with, and it will be our hope for River Plantation 4 as well. So those are all the items I have. Board members, any other comments before we get into the election? Okay. Next we have, we have reports of officers, reports of board managers, kind of one and the same there. Reports of committees, we currently don't have any committees, so no comments there. Next we have election of inspectors of election. These are essentially just the individuals that are going to count the ballots. We would love to have at least 4 individuals that would be willing, when we collect ballots, take them in the back room and count them, tally up the totals, bring all the ballots and the total sheet back to me, and we'll announce the results. So if we could get some people raise their hands, we'd love some volunteers. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3. Can we have one more? 4. Do any of the homeowners, and those 4 individuals, could you please raise your hand one more time? Do any of the homeowners object to having these 4 individuals count votes? Does everyone think these individuals are decently trustworthy? Okay.
That always sits by the fire. I don't know.
All right, so those individuals will count our ballots here in a minute once we conduct the election. So now we'll go ahead and get into the election. We have 4 individuals that were nominated prior to this meeting, and we'll go place them in order on the ballot here, which is in unit number order. James Dean, Robert Ollie, Jackie Corley, and Raymond Anderson. We will, and before we have them speak, we will open the floor for any additional nominations. We don't expect any, but we do want to give owners that opportunity. We will give each candidate an opportunity to speak based on this order, and then we will give homeowners a brief opportunity to ask any questions. Just 30 seconds per homeowner per question or comment. And then we will collect the ballots. They will be counted. Then we will announce the election results. And while the ballots are being counted, at that time we'll open the floor for questions and comments regarding community matters. So that, when we have questions for the candidates, that's just about the candidates in the election process. So this time, are there any nominations from the floor? All right, can we get a motion to cease nominations? So moved. All right, do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, nominations cease. Okay, first, James Dean, you have the floor.
No, my daughter.
Just a couple of quick things. I'll keep this short. One, I didn't mention earlier, and I meant to. Thanks to this board that I've served alongside with during the last year. Again, when the crisis of insurance and other things have hit, they have really stepped up, and I do appreciate, and I hope you appreciate the work that they have put in. That being said, just in talking about the election then, I have considered and would be willing to serve another term. That depends upon you as a family of HOA RP4. I do feel like we've had a lot of crises that we've had to deal with in the last couple of years, and I'm excited with David and the Floyd associates that are on board. Between our reserve study and that, and the work that's been done, I feel like we're finally at a position to where we can look forward and move forward in several different areas. In particular, getting a plan of what all else needs to be done around here. Up to this point, it has been kind of more of an emergency management system. But that being said, I just think that we're positioned, and I'd be willing to continue the continuity of the process that we've implemented. And again, I think that whoever you vote to serve on the board will do well, will work hard and represent the interests of RP4. But just because I'm willing to continue on with the process that we've had, that's why I was willing to still run again for re-election. Thank you.
My question would be,
We're going to do questions after all of this.
after, okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Robert.
All right, so hello everyone, my name is Ryber. I guess I'll echo what James said in terms of continuing on what has already been implemented and all the crises and things like that that we've been through. After speaking with a handful of homeowners and the board members and stuff, I also felt that it would be all right if I tried to continue on to see what else we can kind of take in support of the integrity of the community here at River Plantation Section 4. So hopefully the tough and more difficult days are behind us. Hopefully we're not going to have anything crazy like a almost 2.3 times the amount we anticipated bill for anything. So I would like to thank everybody on the board for the time I have served. I thank you all for questions and constructive criticism and any kind of feedback. So whether I'm staying or not, I still live here, and I still want to see this community continue to grow and just move forward from all of the struggles that unfortunately just caught up to RP4. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Robert. Next we have Jackie Corley.
May I just stand right here?
You're welcome to come to the front if you'd like.
Come on down.
Come on down. This is my 39th year living in this community, and I've been here a long time. And I've seen different boards. I've known a lot of people that have served on the board. I am a servant heart. I have a servant heart. And I am looking to serve the community and build this to be a better community so that we are comparable. And I know we can't compare to those that are 5 and above, but I want us to have the best value of our places. There's a lot of places up for sale in here, several of them. And we just want to get the best value for what we have. I come with a lot of organizational skills. I have a master's degree in administration and supervision, and I've worked with nonprofits and for-profits, and I've worked with boards before. So I feel like I have something to offer, and I appreciate everybody that does serve on the board, because I know it's a really sometimes a thankless position. But I'm willing to get in there and be a great cheerleader for our community.
Thank you. Next we have Raymond Anderson.
That's not fair. Jackie's been here 39 years. I've only been here about 6 months. But that being said, we're kind of on different ends of the spectrum, right? So being a newer member of the community, one of the things that's important to me is wanting to get to know the community and getting them to know me, right? And making the community work for all of us in the best way possible, right? I feel like I have a unique set of credentials that would be helpful to the board relative to project management, being an auditor, accountant, and many other skill sets, right? And, you know, part of the process of, kind of campaigning, we put out flyers and stuff so that people would kind of get to know a little bit about us if they read it. So, I look forward to doing my part to help with the community, because that's what's important to me is by helping the community, I help myself. So that's what I look forward to doing.
Thank you. This time we'll ask for questions. Do ask that questions not necessarily be critical or accusatory, but just constructive and realistic. So, if you raise your hand, we'll call one by one. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. This one goes both to James and Robert. My question is simple. Last time we had a meeting, okay, in here, you both said you didn't want to run. Okay.
I didn't say that. Ryder said it, but I've never said I didn't.
No.
Well, your term was up. Okay, so my question to both of you is, what changed your mind?
Mine never changed.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, what changed my mind was just several homeowners reaching out, just discussing, and then just on the back of my mind, I know we had the previous, I guess I want to say presidency or leadership role was, I think, was it 11 or 12 years? And so just the kind of fear of, hey, you've been around too long, we want someone new, or we just don't like you or disagree with you. Then there's like the personal aspect and budgeting a lot of things. So I'm also part of a few other nonprofits around Tennessee too. So Volunteer State Seal by Literacy, the TKCC, as well as this board. But one of them fell through, spoke to a few homeowners, and they just kind of reminded me of all the things that we started with. Day one of at least, talk to me, of what we kind of started with, what ended up happening, what we've been through. I'm not talking about COVID, I'm just talking about the financial impact that we had to deal with, and just kind of seeing the growth and everything with a lot of the plans and ideas that we started out and actually seeing them being implemented within. Just kind of, I guess, put that spark back in and just want to see what, the fellow homeowners feel. But, like I said, I didn't do any campaigning. I didn't do anything like that. I just, I'm also relationship building as well as is pretty key to me or whatnot. But regardless of what the outcome is, I'm in favor of just continuing the integrity, like I've always said, of the street, Todd Brees.
Okay, now, the next question would be directed to both of you. Okay, you're trying to earn my vote. Okay, after what Floyd and Associates had just said. Okay, now I've only been here 4 years. Okay, and in those 4 years, we've had 2 special assessments and 2 increases. So that red flag is raising and flapping in the wind. Okay, under your management. So what are you going to change? What are you going to do to change that red flag? That's my concern. I've been here 4 years. Every year, okay, 2 assessments and 2 pay increases. Okay, and my feeling is, I walk around the neighborhood, I know a lot of people here. Okay, we have seniors that are fixed income. Okay, and $50 and $100. Okay, and that's gone up 100, almost $75 from 4 years ago. Okay, because it was $275 when I came here. Okay, now we're going to $350. Okay, yeah. People on fixed income are struggling, and y'all talk about continuing to raise. And I have a concern with that. Okay? Sure. And so the red flag has been under your watch. What's going to change?
Well, I think there's 2 or 3 things. One, again, it doesn't matter who was on this board when the insurance went up $180,000.
Insurance is not an issue.
Yeah.
But it was
No, it was, that was the special assessment.
But then
We had nothing, there was nothing we could have done to avoid that. Now, that being said, it has gone up. I think one of the other things that you have to keep in mind is not only has the insurance gone up, but we also had been at a point to where we have been for many years, even before the time that I've been on here for 3 years, have been playing catch up, really, I think, since the flood from what I understand, the flood back in 2010. The roofs then, that project kept going on. The more we tried to get the roofs done, the more roofs kept going up in price, so it's probably good that was attempted and done. But what turned out at the beginning of a roof being replaced for $25,000.
But you're not telling me nothing that you
Yes, I
can
am
do.
telling you. Why it went up was a roof, instead of being $25,000 to replace, is now $45,000 to replace. That's not anything that I had any control over whatsoever. And the concern that you have is felt by every single person on this board. And I'll be quite honest, I really don't appreciate it. It's like, oh, you guys don't even care and have no concern. We live here, we've invested our life, our time in what we do, and we have had long discussions each year about what to try to do. And so if you want to go back and look at your budget for next year, if you were to be able to look at that budget and say, oh, okay, well, I found this, we can take this out and make it $300 a month, great. But what I'm saying is everything keeps going up. And we take that very seriously. And so I don't think that really, it's not just River Plantation Section 4, 1, 2, and 3 have had increases. And so it's really kind of hard to say that because again, we don't necessarily fully set the fee. The fee is kind of dictated to us by the budget that we have to pay the bills that are coming into us each year. Grounds and the mowing, you know, people look at that and say, well, can you get that cheaper? We did review that contract. Ryder did a couple of years ago. We actually came in at about $13,000 less than other mowing companies. We look at our garbage pickup, we've competitively looked at that. Again, for the 2 times a week to pick up all that we have. The things that keep going up are the repairs and the insurance. And if you want to look at the cost of the repairs, especially post-COVID, most any set of repairs has gone skyrocketing. And you face that in your car, if you get something done in your house or anything else. Let me just say this, I almost even really think, and I hope you can appreciate this, the budget itself, again, we do wrestle with and work on and try to massage different things in and out. But again, most of the budget is pretty much set. And so it's really not a matter of, oh, I think it should be this, or oh, I should think it should be that. Again, when we started 3 years ago, our insurance, actually I think my first year on the board, the insurance was right under $100,000 a year. And so again, when you look at the $50 more a month, just look at the difference in the rate between what a year ago had been budgeted at $120 and now you're looking at $180. That's $60,000. We don't take that lightly, that we had no control even over what the rate's going to be for 2025. We're grateful that it's less than what it was. But again, your budget went up by $60,000 based on insurance. And so we do take those things very, very serious and responsibly. And I'm telling you, Colette will crunch numbers and look through and say, this is what's going on. But I just want you to understand, it is really not that hard of a budget process. And so when repairs have gone up, insurance has gone up, that's what we have to deal with. And I just think that really is most of it. As far as those concerns, I'm very concerned about it. I think the board going forward, whoever the next board is going to be faced with some of those very same challenges. And so I just think that I understand the frustration with it, but I think you have to look at what the underlying causes really are.
Thank you. All right, we need to go on with questions. Other questions for any candidate? Any further questions before we hold the election? Okay, at this time, if you, for the 4 individuals that are collecting votes, if you'll rise and everyone fill out your ballot. Now, quick tutorial on the ballots. And this is one that I don't know who it was that was given to me. All you got to do is put an X in the box of up to 2 names. If you mark 3 names, your ballot's not going to count. You don't have to write in anything at the bottom here. All you do is just check the up to 2 boxes of who you want to serve on the board. Please don't check more than 3 boxes. Or excuse me, no more than 2 boxes. And you can hand your ballots to any of the four individuals collecting the ballots.
There we go. Okay.